Hi everyone, welcome to my very first YouTube tutorial and, for that matter, my very first spoken video on YouTube. I've been stalling on making this video for quite a while since I dreaded talking on camera, but at the same time I promised quite a few people a tutorial video on my arrangement of Wicked Game. So here we are. No need to stretch the introduction any more than needed. Grab your guitar and let's get to work. A quick word from after the editing of the video. I spent nearly a whole week editing the video and there are a few things I messed up. One of them is the lighting. I look like I haven't slept in a week. And there is also a lot of very strange eyebrow work going on while I explain the tablature. I have no idea where that came from. To round up things, my pronunciation slips every few seconds, so I start out with a very educated 1, 2, 3, 4, and as soon as I have to focus on playing the guitar, I'm back at 1, 2, 3, 4. So sorry about that. You can probably also notice that I'm quite nervous at times, so I guess that will be the main explanation why things have slipped up a few times. I still think the info is laid out quite clearly, so I hope you can still get to work with the video. Let me know in the comment section if I still go too fast on some sections, or if there's anything you'd like to see cleared out more specifically. Have fun with the video and hopefully see you next time. Bye. First, a few quick pointers. The guitar is in standard tuning, so there is no need to retune or detune your guitar. The arrangement is on the simple side if you have some experience in fingerstyle guitar, and the medium tempo set at about 112 beats per minute shouldn't make things too difficult either. Now let's go over a few of the different sections of the song. A few of the sections are different each time you play them, like the verses. But the chorus is always exactly the same, so that shouldn't bring too much difficulties along. The first thing we do have to look at is the basic groove. I felt the need to add some percussive effects and a little basic strum, because in certain parts of the song the melody is so down low on the guitar, so it's around the A string or the D string, the low A string or the low D string, that it was very difficult to keep the flow of the song moving. So I devised a little basic groove. It's not hard to play, but it might take some getting used to. So this is how it goes. We're gonna play a few basic chords. This is the first version of a B minor chord you will be using. This is the 7th fret on the low E string, 9th fret on the D string, and the 11th fret on the G string. Then we're gonna move over to an A with an added 9th, lots of open chords, open A string, 7th fret on the D string, 6th fret on the G string, and then 2 open strings. And then down below to an open E chord. Now, when you play these chords, you are going to use the side of the palm of your hand just underneath the thumb to give a percussive hit on the 2nd and the 4th beat all the way through the song. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's combine that with the basic chord shapes, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the basic groove, so I'm going to just do it a little bit slower. So this is just a percussive hit. It's the first part of the groove. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes we'll be adding bass notes, we'll be adding a lot of melody notes, but this is the first movement. The second movement in the basic groove is very, very light strumming. It's always done with the thumb and it's always upstrokes. I have notated them in the tab with a bit smaller numbers So it should be easy to spot which strums are meant to be very light instead of very heavy or really present. So if you see little figures in the tab, it's usually gonna be an upstroke with the thumb, and it's generally just brushing really softly along the strings. Just upward, not really getting your thumb into the strings to play hard. So that's not what should be done, but it's just brushing with the side of the thumb very lightly up. These strums there are a lot of variations to where they can occur, but they are always combined with the same percussive tab we just saw. So we're gonna get back to the basic groove, which sounds like this with the percussive tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to add the upstrokes really softly. 1, really slowly now. So what happens is you play the chord, percussive hit, usually or sometimes I might add a second bass note, then the upstroke, and then back to the percussive hit. Really slow, we're gonna take it down even more. Make sure to really feel the 4 beats and don't speed up. Don't be eager to put down that last 4th beat. Give it the time it needs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you get that going, so start out slowly, try to build it up in tempo. And once you combine that with the same 3 basic chords we saw earlier, so the B minor, the A ninth, A added ninth, and the E chord, you get something like this. Bit more up the tempo. So, like I said, the strumming pattern itself may move around a little bit, but this is the basic which around the whole arrangement is built. So as soon as you get that down, it's time to take a look at the different sections of the song. The chorus is always exactly the same. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but once you get that down, it's exactly the same every time. The intro, the original song starts with the famous whammy bar, tremolo bar, bending trick up to the melody note. Now we don't have that on an acoustic guitar, or I don't have that on my acoustic guitar. So we have to adapt just a little bit. So I'm starting out with the pinky on the 4th fret of the G string, and I'm gonna slide it up all the way to the 11th fret. Then I'm gonna add the same 2 notes we saw earlier, 7th fret on the low E string 9th fret on the D string. So you get, that's the first melody note. Then we move to the A chord, and then we will add the pinky on the 7th fret of the B string, and we're gonna slide down, but the slide won't arrive anywhere in particular. So we're gonna slide, and we're gonna lift the finger, so we're gonna stop adding pressure, but we keep the pinky in contact with the B string, so the string won't sound out. It basically just stops. And it will end up on an open E chord. That's the basic for the intro. So that's the basic part. Now we're gonna take the exact same chords and we're going to add the basic groove again. So beats on 2 and 4 and the upstrokes in between. And the second time around, we're going to use a little Chet Atkins, Tommy Emmanuel, Jerry Reed trick. We're going to use a little open string run, starting with the high E string, just plain open string, then going to the pinky 7th fret on the G string, pulling off to the 6th fret, sorry, to the 6th fret, and then playing an open B string. So you get. So that's the second part of the intro. To an E chord, slightly different fingering, but nothing too difficult. And then one of the famous guitar fills. F sharp, 4th fret on the D string, A, 2nd fret on the G string. And back to just a plain simple E chord. So that's the whole intro. So let's take it from the top, adding in the percussive part on 2 and 4 and an occasional upstroke with the thumb. There you have it. That's the whole intro, the whole 8 bars. But as you can see, most of the work is done by the right hand with the basic groove, always tapping on 2 and 4, always using the soft upstrokes. This continues throughout the whole song, so you're gonna keep doing this the whole time. It will feel more and more natural as you go along. By the time you reach the first chorus, you probably won't even have to think about it that much, but it can take some time in the beginning. So just keep at it. It's not really that difficult. It just takes some developing of a sort of independence. The moment you're missing one of those beats, a red light should go off in the back of your head. Okay, now let's continue to the first verse. This is one of the one of the problems I had to overcome while writing the arrangement is you have to move the melody quite down low on the bass strings. So that's what we're gonna do. We're basically taking a B minor chord. I'm not really playing a bar chord because I'm gonna need an open D string in a few seconds. So I'm releasing the bar chord, the bar behind the chord, and I'm also releasing my ring finger, so I get an open D string. I'm gonna use the ring finger immediately for a hammer-on as well. So we're gonna start by playing the first chord, hammer-on to the 4th fret, open string, hammer-on to the 2nd fret. Over to the A chord, pull off, again you play in the same 2nd fret, but pulling off to the D string. C sharp, 4th fret on the A string. And back, always back to the E chord. Second time, melody stays the same, only one note is changing. Going to the F sharp. And back to the E chord. Exactly the same now, adding in, again, the basic groove. Those 8 bars, maybe a bit slower. Second part of the first verse, the melody is going to move up an octave. We're going to use quite a lot of hammer-on. So now we're going for a bar B minor chord, but we're going to start out with just a bar and we're going to hammer on the rest of the chords right away. Second part is almost the same. Nothing really too difficult if you got down the first 8 bars. This is probably already gonna start feeling comfortable. So hammer on from B minor chord back to just a plain bar. The same open A chord we used in the intro. It's just an arpeggio, and back to the same E chord we used in the intro. And the same fill. The second time, we're going to move down to the G sharp. Maybe just a little word on that last fill. We're going to start out by playing 2nd fret on the D string, 1st fret on the G string, and an open B string. And we're going to hammer on to the 2nd fret and then slide on through only on the G string to the 4th fret. That's basically it. Adding the basic groove again. Here we are, that's the first verse. Over to the chorus. Now this is a bit similar to the intro, so we're back to the slide on the 4th fret. And now the following chord is something completely different. Open E string, 3rd fret on the B string, 6th fret on the G string, and we're going to use this open string scale, if you like to call it that. especially the C sharp and the D are gonna be fighting a little bit with each other, but with the bass note underneath, gonna sound fine. So, and what you get is always back to the E chord. With a basic groove added. The whole chorus, 8 bars. Let me do it even a bit more slowly for you. Two extra notes remain in the chorus, but they are sort of a lead up into the interlude. 6th fret on the G string and an open B string. So you get and then we're ending up into the interlude, which is for most guitar players probably the most famous part. This is the only time we're going to move the B minor chord up. So instead of playing the B minor chord on the 2nd fret, we're going to move it up to the 7th fret. So you get this. So the open string lick in the beginning can be a bit tricky. I had to think about it myself, doing it really slow. So which is 7th fret on the low E string, 7th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the B string, open E string, 7th fret on the G string, to the 6th fret, and to the A chord, and again to the same E chord we used in the intro. Same thing with the basic groove added. And that's it for the interlude. So by now the basic movement of the basic groove should start feeling comfortable. On to the second verse. Second verse is largely the same in terms of fingering, but the melody is a little bit different, especially the very first time. So the very first time we're going back to the B minor chord, and we're going to play the start of the melody on the open D string. This requires a good posture of the left hand. If your fingers are too flat, that D string is gonna be blocked and muted. So you have to make sure wrist is nice down below the neck, so this D string rings out nicely. Second time is almost exactly the same. Except for the last few melody notes. And again the same with the basic groove added. part of the verse should be recognizable. Most of the fingerings are the same as in the first verse. The melodies change around just a little bit. Fingerings are mostly what you have seen in the first verse, and the rhythmic variations aren't that difficult. Maybe just one time a little bit slower. Maybe one thing that needs to be addressed a little bit more is there is one time, it's one of the few times where you have to hit the percussive hit along with a chord. So you're going to have to hit the base of the thumb, but play a chord alongside it. So that will probably take some getting used to. Then it's onto the second chorus, which is exactly the same as the first chorus. And then it's on to the third verse, the last one. So this will be the last piece where you will learn some new fingerings, but not too difficult at all. So the third verse actually starts with a break. So we're going to stop playing the basic groove and we're just going to keep a long chord ringing out. Which is exactly the same melody as in the first verse. But then to start the basic groove again, I'm gonna play a large E major chord arpeggio, which I'm basically just doing by putting down my ring finger on the top E string and just pulling back. That's all that happens. And back to the basic groove. The second time, exactly the same. Again a break. Same melodic variation as the first time. And again, one big open E major arpeggio. So if we're coming down from the chorus, this is what it will sound like. So the only thing that actually needs some extra explanation will be the tapped harmonic on top of that last chord. So what you're doing is you're playing an open E chord. You're just going to tap your finger across, I'm doing it a little bit diagonal across the 13th and 12th fret. If you do that, you're going to get a harmonic that sounds an octave higher than what you're playing down here below. Just slap it across the strings, nice and tight, and lift the finger off immediately. Happens. It's just a tiny little accent in a song that would otherwise get probably quite repetitive. So if you don't get the hang of this, it's not really a big problem. You can leave it out without any problem. But I just like to add it in there right behind the stop. Just a nice little extra, but if it feels really difficult at the moment, just skip it and learn how to play the rest of the song. So the second part of the last verse is exactly the same as the first verse. Chorus that follows up this one is exactly the same as the second and the first chorus, apart from that fact that you actually are going to double this one, so we're going to play it 2 times. So the same thing we've done over and over again. And the repeat. Last time. And then we're almost finished. The ending is just the same thing as with which you start the second verse with the low melody. Back to one of those big E major arpeggios. Last time. So thank you for watching. That was the whole of Wicked Game. I hope you enjoyed the song. I hope you enjoyed the arrangement. If there's anything you'd like to see on the channel in the tutorial videos, just let me know in the comment section. But I can't quite promise to make one every week. This really took a lot longer than I anticipated. But it was a fun project to get to work on, so there will be other things coming up in the future. Thanks a lot, and I see you next time.